Happy post-Thanksgiving. I hope you had a great one. Let's talk about the humorless workplace. I've worked in all kinds of places, especially in tech. I spent, as you know, 20 plus years in tech and doing comedy at night, and it wasn't always easy. I've worked in cultures that had no humor, which is a big red flag. Anytime humor goes away, when humor dies, you should run. Don't walk away, run. It's bad. It's going to blow. It's a signal. Humor is one of the biggest, I think, red flags because when laughter, positive, healthy laughter that is lifting each other up dies, that's a signal that your culture's turned toxic. And when most meetings are like TSA pat downs or family dinners at Thanksgiving, if that's how your meetings turn into family dinners, hello. You're in trouble. You're in trouble. That's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. So, listen, we all know that humor matters, and it matters for all these things. It's not just stress reduction, and yes, it's that, but it's about connection. And when we have connection, we have trust, and trust and psychological safety lead to people feeling safe to spitball bigger ideas, to take risks, to fail more, and be okay. So it's a game changer, um, indirectly and directly for bigger things. So we need it. Beware of the humorless workplace. That is a function of executives. So when you have a humorless workplace, as I talk about in this week's newsletter, it means that fear has sadly taken over. Like if fear were zombies, it would be like a zombie apocalypse. And you know that because laughter leaves, and that is a measure of people feeling safe. And we've all been in cultures, I know I have, where everybody looks to the leader. They're like looking to the leader to see if the leader laughs, and they're looking around like, okay, and their head's on a swivel. And that's a very dangerous thing because if you have to look for approval to your leaders, to your executives to see if it's safe to laugh, that is a bad thing. You're already there. And that's a hard thing to say, but watch the laughter, everybody. So we need workplaces filled with humor. And I could go on and on, but you already know I do this every week in my newsletters. The benefits are great. We already know that. But the ROI is high as well. If you want a productive workplace where people de-stress and do bigger work, and they take risks and they feel safer, a laughter-filled, positive, healthy laughter is important. And we're talking about the positive punch up, lateral, laughing at our common humanity, kind of improv humor where it's affiliative, everybody laughs. We're not talking about stand-up comedy. It could be, as long as the laughter is lifting people up and it's not punching down at a group of people or at a particular person, then you're okay. And most people never cross that line. So here's the thing. There's three big reasons in my experience why executives get so scared about humors. One, they think it's unprofessional. It's a myth. It's the greatest lie ever told. It's like, what a bunch of crap. Do you want to work at a humorless workplace? No, no thanks. It sucks. Put your gas mask on because it sucks. We all know it. Um, the other part is that I think a lot of executives even feel scared. They feel like, oh, I'm not funny. I'm not funny. Um, I have nothing important to say. I'm boring. That is usually not true. It's usually not the case. Most people have something interesting, but they're scared. They've been taught to hide it. That's not productive. And number three, I think there's a fear of failure and judgment from everybody if I get it wrong. So let's acknowledge the fear because it's real for a lot of people. But when fear takes over, again, you end up with a culture that's constantly like a TSA line. It's never good. Or like dinner with the family. Sure, like here's the thing about visiting your in-laws. You have to go once in a while, but you don't want to live there because it sucks. You don't want that. But the humorless workplace takes a toll. It really hurts people. It hurts retention, creativity. There's just too many things that it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. So think about it in terms of just showing up and being playful. So leaders, here's what you can do. Look, start small. Be playful. Model humor. Model it in all the different ways. Model it in meetings. Model it in the way that you handle disappointment or when something doesn't work out for your team. Um, model it in the way that your team is able to take on risk. And if it doesn't work out, it's okay. It's learning. One of my favorite things to do that I learned years ago in tech was from a great boss was I would go around with my team and I would say, "What'd you fail at this week? What'd you fail at?" And I would start because I would model it. I would say, "Well, I tried this and it did not work, but here's the learning." So it's not like wallowing in the failure. You're saying, "Okay, this didn't work, but here's what we learned." And that is a positive way to create a laughter-filled, humor-centered team that knows it's okay. Because remember, it's not about just being funny and it's not about ha 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 icing. You're building the cake and you need to make sure that laughter and humor are in your DNA because it's how we pivot from failure. It's how we reframe learning. It's how we make it okay to show up something didn't work. And you need a culture that does that. So again, folks, the humorless workplace is a big, giant red flag. And usually it's a function of the leaders and how leadership has made it unsafe. And if people aren't laughing and having a good time, that tells you the safety and the lack of trust. And it's a you may end up having to leave. That is an option because it's very difficult to turn it around. But why it's so important to track laughter as the signal is you can usually track it before it gets to that point, hopefully. And track the laughter in your team, track the laughter in the culture. It really matters. Healthy laughter, not put down humor, healthy laughter. So track it. It's telling you something. It's really important. Now, if you're looking for ways to inject that in your team, I can help you with that. If you're looking for talks, I can help you with that. I also offer workshops on storytelling and communication and creativity. They're all humor fueled. So we use a lot of my background in improv and stand-up. And we're just having a good time. Nobody's getting, patted down. It's good human, feel good, positive laughter. And what that does is creates the safe space people need to try new things, to try new things. So that's what we do. So if you're looking for that, let me know. But you got this. You got this, everybody. Track the laughter. It's so important. So make a commitment this next year to make sure you notice it. So you're not running a culture or a team that looks more like a really bad Thanksgiving dinner with those relatives that you just wish you weren't near. Yeah. All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you on the next one.